What's up everybody, and welcome to Rebel Ranks, a series that forces me to contemplate video game stuff far more intensely than a grown man probably should be. And today, Spyro won.
He is ugly. Ugly?
Now, in case you didn't know, the original Spyro trilogy are some of my favorite games from my childhood, so ranking the levels here proved to be rather difficult, not only because this game is amazing and I thoroughly enjoy every level in this game, but also because I couldn't play these levels in a worst to best order due to progression. So some of these levels can be swapped around a space, especially when it comes to the levels more towards the middle. As for the levels I'm ranking, it's everything. All 17 standard levels, all 6 bosses, all 5 hubs, all 5 flying levels, and the bonus stage. I'm including the bosses and hubs because they're built like the rest of the levels in this game and feel like full levels themselves. And totaling everything together, that's 34 levels we'll be ranking, and splitting that down the middle, we'll have 17 levels in the worst half and 17 levels in the best half. And lastly, in case anyone was unaware, these are just my opinions. I am not some arbiter of definitive rankings. I just always enjoyed watching rankings and wanted to channel all of my useless thoughts and opinions about the games we all love. And for this video, we'll be starting in the middle and working our way up to the best level in Spyro the Dragon. And without further ado, some random dude on the internet's opinions. Number 17, Twilight Harbor, the second of the 2 main levels in Nork Nexus, and this stage is okay. It is pretty unique in theme, along with only Nork Cove, and I guess Nasty Nork. And this level isn't bad, but it is pretty short, and really only has one interesting part. But the main part of the level is nice. The enemies that litter the level can be pretty annoying though. The short Norks shoot a continuous chain of bullets at you, while the larger Norks sweep left to right with their gunfire. Not a fan. Always lose a bunch of hits here. And about halfway through the level is the good part, a supercharge ramp. And if you activate the drawbridge, you can use it as a ramp to launch into an upper area of a building for a few gems and a couple enemies. And for some reason, I felt like I had to launch up here to get to the sealed chest down there. I don't know. After that, it's just standard level to the end of the level. Twilight Harbor is a level that I always look forward to playing. And every time I play it, I'm just slightly underwhelmed. I guess partially because I just played Nork Cove right before it. Number 16, Gnasty's Loot, the bonus stage, the 100% completion reward, and it is so unique, giving you the ability to fly, but like it's not a flying stage, it's a somewhat normal level. And all the gems are yellow and purple gems, worth 10 and 25 respectively. You can only fly up to a certain height though. It starts low, but with each key you get from an egg thief, you unlock a door that takes you a little higher and raises the height that you can fly at. There are a few fireworks here to launch at some sealed chests and an egg thief or two, one flying in a plane. It is pretty small of a stage though, and somewhat short, but it's still a great reward level, and getting all those purple gems in Nasty's room is awesome. And I really love what they did here for the 100% reward level. It's great. Especially when compared to Dragon Shores from Spyro 2. Number 15, Town Square from the Artisan's Homeworld, and this level is pretty good. I do tend to favor the more linear style levels to the more open-ended levels, and this level starts with some platform gliding, getting up here and then gliding over there. It is a pretty short level though. However, that is because, like with most linear levels, there is still more to explore. Gliding from here will take you to this path with an egg thief that runs along the top of the level, and from there you can get to this dragon that was above the return home portal, just out of reach. I do remember figuring this one out as a kid. It was kind of easy to figure out, but still very rewarding, especially for an early game stage. I will say that Town Square is a relatively short level, but what it teaches you in regards to exploring and finding things that are just out of reach is really great. If this level was any later in the game, it would probably be a lot lower on the list. Number 14, Haunted Towers from the Dreamweaver's Hub, and this level is very interesting to say the least. It starts with possessed suits of armor that you cannot kill with a normal flame or a normal charge. Thankfully, this stage is chock full of fairies that give Spyro a temporary super flame. It doesn't last long though, so there will be some running and flaming as much as you can before you have to go back to the same fairy to get the super flame again and run back and flame what you missed the first time. But whatever, this part is pretty fun, and getting to the end of the level is just as fun. Unless you're going for all the dragons, of course, which can get a little bit annoying. There is a supercharge ramp that you have to take out of this door over to here and across to here. It always takes a few tries to get down the ramp successfully though. From here is the last dragon, as well as a quick challenge to get past these suits of armor before they get possessed and guard you from passing into here, which is a fairy that gives you a perma super flame until you leave the level. I do actually like getting to the secret area on this this level, but I will say the super flame just doesn't last long enough. And this sealed chest right outside of the supercharge always confused me as a kid. I always thought it was something to do with the supercharge ramp, but it's not.
Number 13, Peacekeepers, the second hub world, the desert-themed hub world. Weird song to go along with it. I do like how this world is built like a big circle. The enemies that moon you were always funny as a kid. There are also some cannons around the level. Taking out the enemy manning them will allow you to shoot the cannons. There are some sealed chests as well as a rock with a big old target on it. There is a secret area to get to by gliding from here over to here. I believe there's a locked chest in there or a key. Nothing special, but always fun.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Peacekeepers. It's relatively simple and the music is weird, unique? One of the two. It's not bad though. But for some weird reason, I always thoroughly enjoy this hub world.
Number 12, Dreamweavers, the fifth and final hub world in the game. I'm sure by now you can tell I'm not counting Nork Nexus, but it is just a circular platform, so come on. Dreamweavers is a very interesting hub world. The overall layout, the enemies, the weird magic cannon that shrinks or enlarges the enemies. With the flammable enemies, you can take them out large or small, but with the armored enemies, they can only be taken out while they're small. And to get to this area of the hub world, you have to take control of the cannon and shrink 2 armored enemies guarding the door. There is also some invincible timer enemies. Attacking them turns them into a clock, a little timer I guess, and makes something in the immediate vicinity change. Overall, it's a pretty fun and interesting hub world.
I'm not sure if the armored enemies are more clever or just more annoying. But either way, this is a great hub world. I will say though, it might not be the best hub world in the game.
Number 11, Blowhard, the boss from Magic Crafters, and this level is really good, considering it's a boss level. It starts with what is on par for a good Spyro stage outside, and this is so unique for this game. You start to fight Blowhard, and I say start because once you hit him once, you have more platforming and more enemies to take out before you see him again. And once you make it through that, it's back to fighting Blowhard. No other boss does that. However, the boss itself is on par with all the other bosses in the game. It's lame. I swear it just rushed him and flamed him, and I don't even think he was able to attack me.
It really does go to show that Insomniac was truly onto something when they built smaller levels around the bosses. Because the bosses themselves kind of suck, but the boss levels can be great. And this isn't even the highest ranked boss. And now we reach the top 10 levels in Spyro 1, my 10 favorite stages in the game. And surprisingly, kicking off the top 10, we have a hub world.
Number 10, Magic Crafters, the third hub world, and yes, a top 10 tier Spyro level. It's pretty big, I'm not sure, but it feels like it might be the largest hub in the game. There's egg thieves, a hidden key that unlocks a hidden locked chest, and druids that move the ground, preventing you from passing down certain paths. And I love how the other balloonist is visible pretty close in the background, yet so far to get to. And the druid that's actually faster than you, needing you to pick up speed on the supercharge ramp to get by, is great.
I know it's just a hub world, but I always look forward to getting here, and I thoroughly enjoy it once I'm here. It's such a blast, and it's truly impressive that even a hub world can be this much fun, and clearly deserves its place in the top 10.
Number 9, Lofty Castle from the Dreamweavers hub. And like all the other levels in Dreamweavers, this is a very interesting level. Being more open-ended than the others, this level is essentially a bunch of floating platforms with a big castle village in the middle. Weird bulbous birds and big Norks floating on balloons. The mechanic to the Norks is pretty cool. They're armored and float up and down, meaning you have to flame their balloon, as flaming them won't do anything. And making your way across these platforms is pretty cool. You'll free fairies from cages and they'll carry you up to glide to the next area. There's an area that takes you up to a supercharge ramp, pretty cool to get to. It does end up circling you back around, so design-wise, it's well done. After that, it's back to the floating platforms surrounding the center area, freeing fairies and floating around at the return home portal.
I think I've just convinced myself so much that Lofty Castle isn't that great of a level to where every time I play it, I thoroughly enjoy it. It is really a great level. I will say, not really anything unique here though. I mean, I guess the fairies.
Number 8, JACQUES. I assume it's JACQUES. JACQUES. I have no idea. The boss from the Dreamweaver's hub, and the highest ranked boss in the game. And once again, the boss battle here is pretty lame, however it is probably the best boss battle in the game regardless, as JACQUES himself is a more complex boss than the others, but like all 5 Dragon Realm bosses, there is a level leading up to him, and this is probably the longest, with Metalhead probably being the second longest. And this boss level utilizes the Invincible Fools to raise platforms. The other enemies being unique to this stage, as well as my nightmares. This level also starts with a fork. Both ways converge at the end before JACQUES, but the left route does have a dragon to glide to, opening up a little more of the level. Getting back from here always causes me issues for some reason. Yeah, a little backtracking to go the other route, and yeah, then it's on to JACQUES himself. And while, as I said, boss is not good, but JACQUES might be the best. Toasty wasn't hard, it's just the damn dogs. Dr. Shemp just requires dodging an attack once to flame his backside. Blowhard doesn't even have to attack you before you can attack him, honestly. And Metalhead is unique with the metal rods, but you know, that's it. JACQUES actually attacks you, and does so enough to where it's actually a threat. But I just really love the level section of this boss level, and I have vivid memories of trying to beat this boss as a kid with my mom, so it had to be in the top 10. Number 7, High Caves, from the Magic Crafters world, and here we start getting into the levels that just amaze me at every turn. Starting with a cave that I know damn well not to go into right away. There are huge metal spiders in these caves that cannot be flamed or charged. They have to be either supercharged or super flamed. So at the start, you'll go left and traverse up here until you make your way to the center area, and here's where the level implements an anti-fall mechanic with 3 fairies to catch you if you fall and take you up to the top of a supercharge ramp. From that supercharge ramp, you can now make it into the caves to destroy the 3 metal spiders, assuming you can aim properly. However, there is one room in the cave that goes up and not down, meaning you won't be able to use the supercharge ramp to get there and destroy the last 2 spiders. You'll have to get past them to get to a temporary super flame. Past the supercharge ramp are 3 rooms, 2 to glide to with 1 egg thief. After that, you'll use the supercharge ramp and make it across the chasm to 3 different areas. An outside area, an inside cave area, and another inside cave leading right to the welcome home portal. Yeah, the mechanic of the anti-falling safety, the giant metal spiders, and the supercharge ramps. God, I'm just a sucker for supercharge ramps. This level is just a blast. I will say that the outside area before you get into the inside area with the anti-fall mechanic, it should have just been expanded to incorporate that anti-fall mechanic and more supercharge ramps. Because I mean, who wouldn't have minded more death-free supercharge ramp experimenting? Number 6, Misty Bog from the Beastmaker's hub. And this level, while it has the second most annoying enemies in the entire game and a room that is straight hell to get through, this level has the biggest aha moment in Spyro 1, at least in my opinion. This level starts with hiding stuff behind a stone wall. Yeah, right on. Then you'll run into the tree enemies, trees that'll eat you. Easy enough to flame though. Still easy to get hit though. Then you'll run into the frogs, and lord, these frogs can be annoying. Their attack is sometimes faster than you are, meaning charging them just charges you headfirst into their attack. From here, there's a small platform to the right. It's not hidden or anything, but when you're trying to figure out where you're missing gems, this is the easiest spot to see that this platform up here still has enemies all over it. Anyways, save a dragon and head down here where going to the left takes you to the 3 annoying frogs right here, followed by a room half filled with them. And if the frogs don't get you, the Norks will definitely shank you. Another dragon and you glide back down to where you were before, the level once again showing you the secret area right in the middle of your screen. Progress and jump down this open stump which shoots you out right under this waterfall. One final area, and then there's the return home portal. But there's still some gems to get. Well, if you're trying to figure this out on your own, you'll notice that a platform has a bunch of enemies on it. You'll eventually notice that. And noticing that, you'll follow the stumps to where you'll see the top of a stone building. Well, make your way back down to the end of the level through the stump and coming out of the waterfall, and you'll notice the same structure. Boom. Hit the side where the stones are placed perfectly to jump on, but in a way that doesn't look like it's supposed to be for you to jump up. From here, glide to the stumps and up to that platform with all the enemies on it, and then to some more gems, and boom. 100%. This really was the biggest aha moment for me when playing Spyro 1. I have vivid memories of being stuck and just scanning the horizon and finally seeing the platform I needed to jump on. And it was such a rush of joy, and it was just such a great feeling.
So good. But those frogs can go straight to hell. And now we're into the final few stages, the top 5 levels in Spyro the Dragon. And in case you weren't keeping up, there are no more hub worlds, no more bosses, just 100% pure, unadulterated Spyro amazingness. And coming in at
Number 5, Alpine Ridge from the Magic Crafters hub, and like most Magic Crafters levels, there's quite a few druids moving the floors and platforms, as well as these big monster things that were just straight adorable in the original. After the first dragon, there's a couple gems to the left, letting you know to hop up here to make a glide down to here where there's a few enemies and a few druids moving platforms, and you can glide back down to right after the dragon. It's then through a little cave and you get this nice little scaling section up the side of this mountain to the welcome home portal. There's an opening that'll take you to the start of the level, and a cliff that's high enough to get to this out-of-reach cave from earlier. A dragon and an egg thief and a few firework gems, and that's it.
This level is just beautiful, and it's always a blast to get through. It's such a good level. And it also has some really big Charmed Ridge vibes from Spyro 3, and it's not really just the magic aspect that makes me say that, but the entire level layout itself. Which kind of makes me wonder where I'm going to rank Charmed Ridge in the Spyro 3 levels.
Number 4, Nork Cove, the first of the 2 stages from the Nork Nexus, and it's such a great level. A little bit obvious with the Donkey Kong mechanics, but it is what it is. I mean, you can charge the metal barrels, so it isn't just like you always have to jump over them, just when they're TNT. Well, you'll make your way up and across a bunch of shipping containers. From there, it's an indoor section, then another outdoor section over some barrels, inside again, then outside again, and making your way through all of that is legitimately some of the most fun standard Spyro. And then you'll see the return home portal and you'll think, yeah, good level, I really enjoyed that. And then you realize you have to jump down here and clear 3 more routes, one with a key, one with a locked chest, and one taking you up to the return home portal.
Nork Cove is just so much fun. From the harbor aesthetic, to the great platforming, to the barrel hopping mechanic, to the psych at the end where it gives you more level. Nork Cove is a great level. And it's just slightly disappointing that Twilight Harbor isn't as good as this, even though it's after this level, but whatever.
Number 3, Wizard Peak from Magic Crafters, and yes, everything from Magic Crafters made it into the best half of the list. I mean, not the flying level, but come on, how could it? But the hub, the boss, all 3 levels are amazing in Magic Crafters, and Wizard Peak might be the best of those. Starting by leading you into an indoor area with a bunch of enemies, you'll actually want to make a sharp left to hit this ledge. Making it up to the end of that will put you into the indoor area, but up on some out-of-reach ledge. From the same outside area, there's a glide of faith around this corner to an enemy on a out-of-reach platform. Kinda cheap, might need to turn the map on from the menu to get this one. From there, it's the supercharged ramps. Taking the second one down will launch you across to this platform. The only time an egg thief doesn't run away from you. Interesting. And using the opposite supercharged ramp, you'll go through here to this faraway platform. Yeah, and from there it's just a couple of purple Norks and wizards up to the return home platform.
Yeah, this level has like 4 somewhat secret areas to get to, and on top of that, it's a decent sized level. It's always one that I look forward to replaying when I play this game. But I mean, that's like half the levels, honestly.
Number 2, Ice Cavern from the Peacekeepers hub, and the only level that isn't desert themed in the desert themed hub. Yeah, and this level is great. And being that I didn't have a memory card from a little after first getting my PlayStation, I did have to play the earlier levels more than the later levels. And this level always stood out for a few reasons. Starting this level, there's a crate over here on a ledge. Then the level curves around in a downward spiral with areas along the ice wall, brick rooms, and inside ice caves, ice caverns. And these areas are pretty cool. A large enemy with armor that you have to charge off of the walkway. In the first brick area, there's a locked crate, and if you look around, you'll see a key on a glidable platform. You'll have to backtrack up to the crate through a ice cave area, but it's just a small area. And it's not like you're playing the whole level backwards, alright? And from the lock crate area is a neat little ice wall area to the return home portal. However, there are some easy to see gems on pillars along that wall, and jumping up there takes you to another ice cave area, and this is a pretty big ice cave area. There are gems on torch sticks, and as a kid this actually took me a little to figure out where the missing gems were. And from here you'll drop down into a brick room with a door to the return home portal and a door to a ledge outside. There's a platform too high to jump to that has 3 life chests on it. Well, it turns out that from the first chest on that ledge, you basically do a glide of faith around the wall to the right and you'll land on the platform. platform. And when I played this level for gameplay, I actually glided down to the 3 lives first, and then worked all the way backwards through the level, because I'm a mad lad.
Yeah, those 3 lives always taunted me as a kid, and it turns out the solution is somewhat easy. And also it was featured in a PlayStation Underground from like the late 90s, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, the fact that this level can be played normal from start to finish or completely backwards really makes this an amazing level. And now my personal favorite level from Spyro the Dragon.
Number 1, Dark Passage from the Dreamweaver's Hub, and man, I don't know what it is about this level, but I just love this one so much. The enemies are awesome, the dogs and turtles that are affected by the invincible fools. The turtles are shielded, so if they're large, you'll need to find and attack the jester. There's also like devil cupids? I don't know. Pretty early in the stage, you'll see this walkway all the way across over here, too far to glide to, so you'll just progress normally through the level. And this might be the most linear level in the game. It's just really straightforward, but it still does manage to be a somewhat lengthy level. And just saying all of this, I know that this might be a weird choice, but there's just something about this level, man. I can't explain it. Well, anyways, the level's pretty straight. There are a few sections where you're in this big room that has a return portal up on a higher platform. Well, once you make it up to the return home portal, there's a sealed crate. And if you look around, you'll actually see a hole in the wall down below you with a few gems on it. Gliding down here takes you to what's essentially the hidden second half of the level. And yeah, this part is very linear as well, but it is long, if not longer than the normal part of the level, and it's great. There's 2 more dragons on this part, so if you look at your menu when you're at the return home portal, you'll be pretty confused as to how you're missing so much. Anyways, at the end of this path is a rocket that blasts open the sealed crate, and boom, my favorite level in Spyro the Dragon.
Yes, Dark Passage is my favorite level in Spyro the Dragon, and while yes, it is extremely linear, which means there isn't as much to explore, there is still somewhat of an aha moment, which in such a linear level is a testament in and of itself. But the atmosphere, the skybox, and the enemies are amazing. And while from a design standpoint, and possibly even a platforming standpoint, there might be better levels out there, I always look forward to this level more than any other level in Spyro the Dragon. And I ranked it the highest, so why would I question that? Man, it was incredibly hard to rank all of these levels because they are all just so amazing. Except Toasty. And that's gonna wrap this one up. I have one more Spyro the Dragon video coming to you guys, and then it's on to Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. Gonna be taking a look at, you know, a main retrospective of the game, and then the worst levels, best levels, probably the orbs. I might just split those up and kind of see what happens. But yeah, that's gonna wrap this one up. So thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, please smash the like button, subscribe, comment, share, notification bell, all of that other wonderful good stuff. And until next time, peace.